Good evening, everyone. It's Caitlin. Today is day 5 of Booktubeathon. How are you all? I'm good. So, today's challenge is to create a reading list as if you are a teacher or part of a course curriculum outliner. And basically, my theme for this is girl empowerment. Now you're wondering, why do you need that? Well, my school system doesn't have a lot of books that are with female main characters that focus on girl empowerment. Their philosophy is, it's easier to get boys to read boys' books and girls to read boy books than it is to get boys to read about girls. I'll give it to them. It's slightly true, but it wasn't what I wanted or needed when I was growing up. So here is my book list for this topic. Alright, so book 1 of my topic is Alanna, the First Adventure by Tamora Pierce. Yes, I know what you're all thinking. Yeah, there's a theme here with you, Caitlin. You are a big fan of Tamora Pierce. This is the second book you've proposed. Well, yes. That's because Tamora Pierce, and specifically this copy of Alanna, was the first book I ever really read. I loved it because here was a girl who was trying to do something that was really seen as only a guy thing. And the fact that she was expected to become this lady. That's it. That was basically how the world was going to view her. But she didn't want that. She wanted to become a knight. And it was through her I realized I didn't have to be a helpless damsel in distress. This book taught me that we girls have power to change things. And I fell in love with the series because all 5 series by Tamora Pierce are girl empowering. So I would start with this one because it's the one that all the other series kind of are built off of. Alright, so here's my second book of the book challenge. Veil of Time by Claire R. McDougall. So basically the book is about Maggie. Maggie has some type of seizure disorder, and whenever she passes out after having a seizure, she time travels. So basically this book follows 2 lines. Maggie in her present day, which is set in the past, and Maggie in the past, where, you guessed it, there were still clans, and basically this was back where Dennard was the capital. So Maggie is dealing with her decision. Does she get an operation to hopefully fix her seizures? Or does she continue to have it so she can be with the guy she falls in love with in the past, Fergus? So, really good book. Great women empowerment because she's making the decision and she has the decision she has to make. And this decision says, my husband wants one thing. I'm divorcing him. And there's this other guy I'm falling in love with. What decision do I want to take? So, my next book is Truthwitch, which follows basically 2 girls. There is Zappia and, how do you pronounce that? Iseult? I don't know. I'm sorry. But Susan Dennard writes a great series. So, Zappia is a truth witch. Basically, she can tell you in an instant if you're lying to her or not. Iseult, she's a thread witch. Most common type of witch. And she sees connections of all people. So, the book follows them, and they are finding out that war is coming to their land. And basically, what are their decisions to help try and prevent it? Because Zappia, if she decides to help, reveals she's a Truthwitch. And, well, being a Truthwitch means you're going to live with manipulation. Isolde faces discrimination. And it's these two girls' decisions that power the whole entire plot, more or less, behind this novel. Alright, so my next novel is The Rowan by McCaffery. So this is set in a world where in the 1990s people discovered that, wow, humans have psychic powers. And so, flash forward 100 or more years, and people with powers are helping us travel through space. So people who are prime, like the Ronin, get put in charge of towers, and their job is to, you guessed it, help send ships from point A to point B, to help with cargo so that colonies and Earth are all getting what they need. And the Ronin, she plays a very important part. She starts off as this orphan who has no family, who's the only survivor of a tragic accident, and basically she climbs from there. She gets her own tower, and it is through her that the future of primes is guaranteed. I know, it's interesting, but she's not a pushover. She won't take no nonsense. She is the power behind her own story, and that is why this is part of my girl empowerment books. Alright, another book by McCaffery is The Harper Hall of Pern. Yes, you probably recognize the girl on the cover as who I was cosplaying as yesterday for the 4th day challenge. So this book follows Melody, and is her journey from being in a craft hall where her talents and her being a girl wasn't going to get her far, to the Harper Hall where she gets to live her dream, and every step in between. I love this series. The first 2 books are really about Melody, and the last book is about her friend. But this story shows that if you want something and you're a girl and people tell you no, don't take it. Go for it. Follow your dream, even if it means you have to leave behind everything you knew. This book is an inspiration to me, and I love it. So that's why it's on my list. The next book on my reading list is Fangirl by Rowell. So the book follows our main character, Kath, and her transition from high school to college life. And it follows her evolution as a fangirl from extremely obsessed to realizing you can be obsessed, but you can also still have a life outside of it. It's okay to go out and interact with people. That you have power in your stories. And basically, that's why I have this on my list. Because Kath is a strong character. And this is a story that not just girls need to hear, but guys too. And how transitioning to university, high school to college, or any second. So the last book on my list is Eliza and Her Sea Monsters. It is by Francesca Zappia. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. And it follows Eliza and her last year at high school. She draws and writes a very popular webcomic called Sea Monsters. And in her last year, a boy transfers into her school. She finds out that he is her biggest fan fiction writer. They spend time together, they start off as friends, they fall in love. The thing is, he doesn't know her secret. And it's her struggle through falling in love, keeping up with her webcomic, dealing with when Wallace, the guy, finds out she is the creator of Sea Monsters and the aftermath of it. This is my TBR book. I haven't finished it. I'm not sure how it's going to end. I hope it ends well. But from what I read, this is a story that talks to me personally, as a creator, as a writer, and even as a reader who loves falling into fandoms. And so, I would have this on my list because Eliza is a strong female character. She's a different type of female character, but that's what we need to show. And so, that brings us to an end of what books I would give to people if I could control what books we read. And so, that ends this. I hope you all have a good night, and hope to see you soon.